Hello, friends, and the rest of YouTube. Heavy Duty Country here just dropped a video talking about USCCA. This is very worrying. I'm a USCCA member myself, and I already got the number written down. As of tomorrow, we're changing that up. I will most likely not be a USCCA holder anymore. Um, and I'm going to talk to them. Obviously, there's a number I'm going to call and say, hey, this isn't working out. Refund me for the past year, however long it's been already, because I'm going to take my money to an insurance company that's actually going to stand by me and actually going to fight for my freedom and fight for my rights if the worst case scenario ever happens. So, just quickly back up real quick and just tell you guys why I have self-defense insurance to begin with, because I've already been through a terrible situation. I got carjacked, shot, and stabbed in Detroit. And no, I do not blame the guns, and I do not blame the knives for stabbing me. It was the crackhead criminals that did this shit. And I'm not mad at anybody else or anything else other than them. They are the criminal aspect. But what I will say about this whole thing is after I got shot and the police showed up, obviously the carjackers were nowhere to be found. These Detroit police officers were racking their brains trying to figure out what they could charge me for. This is what they told me point blank in the car. They drove me around in a little decrepit cop cruiser. They had the AC all the way up. I was soaking wet in cold rain, and I was sitting back there shivering. They were sitting up front laughing at me and discussing what they could charge me for. Long story short, I ran into some people's yard, into some people's property to get away from the person that was about to stab me to death over my car keys that I took off with. And they were going to see if they could get some kind of trespassing, something. And I remember looking that cop in the eye and saying, hey, man, I would have climbed up on those people's roof to get not stabbed in the back. And you would have done the same exact thing had you have been in my situation. I told that cop, I was like, actually, you got a gun. You probably would have shot the guy. The point is, these cops, they did their best to try to figure out anything that they could charge me with. And now that scares the shit out of me because apparently, come to find out, USCCA will not support you in any sort of manner if there's any sort of criminal charge involved at all. Now, I understand USCCA does not want to represent criminals. Obviously, if you go try to rob a bank with a gun and then the police show up and you get taken to jail, that's not the best time to say, hey, I'm a USCCA member. They're going to send me a lawyer to defend myself in court because I'm a bank robber. Understandably, they don't have to do that. So that kind of makes sense. The problem is now there's a lot of money at stake. It costs them money to represent you. So a prosecuting attorney throwing a simple assault charge or some sort of criminal charge at you, even if it's not going to stick, is all the excuse that USCCA needs to say, oh, well, hey, there's a criminal charge pending against you, though. It doesn't matter how long you've been paying us $50 a month. We can't represent you now. Yay, we just saved $300,000 on going to court over your trial, and we're going to keep all the money that you've been giving us for the past 10 years of your life that you've been paying into this policy. That is a huge problem for me. That is a huge problem for me. I can understand if they make some kind of judgment call, but at the same time, what's to stop them from being a big greedy corporation and saying, hey, we know that this DA is just throwing some kind of assault charge at this guy to give him a criminal charge so that we don't represent him. But hey, that's going to save us $250,000 on going to court. I don't want some company to even have to make that decision with me. That scares the shit out of me because I've already been there firsthand and I've already seen what these cops try to do. Hey, we'll charge everybody on the scene with whatever crime we can get. Even if it doesn't stick, hey, that's for the court to decide. Give everybody here an assault charge. This is literally what some of these cops do. And I've seen it, right? And now And now you have prosecuting attorneys that have a way to disarm your insurance policy, for your self-defense insurance policy. All they have to do is, oh wait, they have a USCCA lawyer, make sure to charge them with some minor criminal thing. Then that USCCA lawyer isn't going to defend this guy in court, and my conviction rate goes up. This is all a prosecuting attorney cares about, right? And I'm not maybe talking about all of them, but the problem is we have woke prosecuting attorneys out there. We have woke cops out there that might look at a self-defense situation and say, let's throw this guy an assault charge, just to be sure. Some kind of anything. It could be a trespassing. I mean, I almost got charged for trespassing for trying to get away with somebody trying to stab me to death with a butcher knife and take the car keys out of my hand. And they literally were talking about charging me with some kind of trespassing, some kind of anything. So had my situation played out any different, I could have been charged. I really could have. They literally had that discussion right in front of me. They kept having that discussion outside of the car while I was freezing my nuts off. And in a situation like that, then my self-defense insurance wouldn't be worth shit. And I'm sorry, but this is way too easy for for one of these state attorneys to manipulate now. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with this. I feel bad because I worked at a law firm for 5 years. I never actually sat down and read the entire USCCA contract. I just kind of figured, hey, you're getting your $40 a month. If I ever have my day in court over some sort of self-defense, anything, you're going to send a lawyer there. Obviously, that lawyer is going to figure out that I'm not a damn criminal and they're going to represent me. But now it's looking like, hey, if you're even charged with anything criminal, we don't really care if you're criminal. It's going to cost us $250,000 to go to court on your behalf. And this is giving us a reason to back out of that. And from everything that I know, that's the choice that a corporation will always make. Because at the end of the day, USCCA is still there to make some kind of money, I guess. Point being is, this got brought up on Heavy Duty Country here. And I'm going to be calling them tomorrow, and I'm going to be getting a different insurance policy. He does have something linked where they will give you insurance that, I mean, for $20 a month, they will protect you in your state. And for $35 a month, you have insurance across all of the great states of America. I think that's what I'm going to do. It costs as much as my USCCA membership right now. The only thing I can think of is there is a pistol brace injunction for the USCCA and also for other gun groups as well. I belong to multiple gun groups, so I'm going to make sure that I'm still covered by an injunction. And I think I'm going to have to do away with USCCA because it's just too easy to manipulate, and it's too easy for a prosecuting attorney to now take your defense insurance away from you. They just have to make sure that you're getting some kind of charge thrown at you that's criminal. So automatically you lose your representation, right? And what does that mean to a prosecuting attorney? That means they're going to win. And that's the only thing a prosecuting attorney cares about at the end of the day is, did I win? Did I lock everybody up? What's my win record? Like, I locked up 83 people this year and none of them went free. I'm a good prosecuting attorney. And unfortunately, that's all these people care about. Once you're in the system, they don't really care about how many innocent people did I lock up. How many people did I lock up that were just defending themselves? They don't care. So check this video up. I screwed up. Concealed carry insurance is useless. They actually go through the policy and they show you where USCCA has it written out where if there's any sort of criminal charge tied to you at all, we're not going to represent you, right? So I think people should know about this. Check this out. Protect yourself. Find an insurance policy that's actually going to protect you, even if some woke DA decides to try to throw some kind of crappy charge at you, because they will now. They will now, right? As soon as the prosecuting attorney, as soon as all of them figure out that, hey, when anybody has USCCA, throw some kind of criminal charge at them, and now they don't have anybody to represent them in court. These people thought they were going to have a lawyer. They thought they were going to have financial support. And if you take that away from them, they have to make a plea deal with you now, right? Because like, for the most part, the reason that people pay for self-defense insurance is because if something does happen, they probably don't have $2 million in their bank to go to court, and they need that insurance. That's what they're paying for monthly. So if you take that away from somebody, well, now you're unopposed. They're going to have to eat whatever freaking charge you gave them, even if they were defending their life and it was all self-defense. It's not going to matter. So I have worked for the court system. I've seen how it works. I've seen how it doesn't work. And folks, I got to say, this scares the living shit out of me. The fact that I've had this policy this whole time, just grinds my gears. Let's see what Heavy Duty Country has to say about it.
Gifts. So obviously none of that sat well with me. That's why they're not on the channel anymore.
Yeah, they wouldn't be on my channel either. This is just him explaining why you don't see USCCA on his channel anymore, because he figured all this stuff out about them.
Why I will not promote them. Like I said, I have no problem with them, but insurance companies are not allowed to cover people if a criminal act is involved. Even one of their own attorneys has said it. It is important to note that it is...
Yeah, so if their own attorney is saying it, that is just sending a signal to the world. Hey, here's the easiest way in the world to turn off our client's insurance.
Illegal for anyone to insure an illegal act. Insurance coverage is sometimes provided until it's a final decision that a crime was committed, but coverage stops in the event of a conviction.
All right, so like any sort of criminal, anything that gets picked up along the way, as soon as that charge sticks, that's it. You're no longer getting represented. What happens when somebody attacks you, you have to use your gun, and everyone says, yeah, we just saw two guys fighting? Well, guess what? You're getting an assault charge. Even if the other guy's dead, you're getting an assault charge. If what everyone saw was just you and somebody else fighting, and then that other person got shot because you were defending yourself, if that guy is not even around to testify, or maybe he is and he's going to say that it was all your fault, well, you just caught some sort of assault charge, and as soon as that actually sticks, you no longer have representation in court from USCCA.
Any insurance company that tells you that they do something different is either not being truthful or they are breaking the law. So yes, coverage ends with a conviction because that's the law.
So if you're good with being a member, knowing all of that, by all means, keep your policy. If you're not, they've got their 100.
So yeah, they do have their 1-800 number that you can call. Real quick, I'll read the screen for you. It's 1-800-674-9779. It's a small screen to read. And you can call them and say, hey, if this is how it's going to be, I want my money back for the past year, and I'm going to go find a different insurance company.
% bulletproof money back guarantee. As long as you're within a year of your contract start date, which is everyone that watches my channel or that signed up here. But I found something that's not an insurance company. They do cover you if you're charged with a criminal.
So this is what he's talking about. This isn't an insurance company technically, so they don't have to go by that law. They do cover you. Let's hear what he has to say about it.
They do cover you all the way through trial. And no, they're not asking for their money back if you take a plea deal, which is probably going to be best for you. That's why we're partnering with Attorneys on Retainer, created by Mark J. Victor, who also started Attorneys for Freedom. Once again, this is not an insurance company. Their hands aren't tied to cover you if any criminal act is involved.
So you would be getting this straight from a legal defense, not an insurance company. So it's a different way of getting the same damn thing. And I mean, you're paying them to take care of a situation, to represent you in court. So even if there is some sort of criminal allegation, they're still going to cover you because that's their job. They're a law firm that you paid ahead of time, not an insurance company that sends out a lawyer. So there's a big difference there. You know what? If you're going to pay for a USCCA membership, you might as well just be paying that money straight to the lawyer that's actually going to go represent you, not the insurance company that's going to pussyfoot around whether or not they should even send a lawyer out. This just makes sense to me. I'm going to be calling these lawyers tomorrow and seeing what I can do with my $35 a month and how much coverage I can get. I've already looked at their plans for $35 a month. They will cover me throughout the whole of the great states of America. Yep, every state's covered in their $35 a month plan. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do, whether I'm in Michigan or Florida or California. No matter how woke the damn prosecuting attorney is, I'll be protected.
This is a law firm. You will be a client of this law firm. So just a few differences. They're available in 50 states. Do not use contracted attorneys. That's important because, once again, USCCA states that they don't have to use the one that you want. They have to abide by their fee.
Oh, see, that's a good another point too. Like what he just said. USCCA doesn't have to do that. They don't have to use your lawyer. They can just send whatever lawyer is going to cut them the best deal that day, which means that you're probably not even going to get the very best representation that you want.
Structure. Well, what if I want the best attorney in the nation? Because my case is kind of brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not a part of our fee structure. Okay. It covers criminal acts. It covers use of illegal weapons. It covers.
Now, by the way, this doesn't mean that even if you commit a crime, you could show up and, you're going to be innocent. No, like, if you go out there and you commit a damn crime, even if you get one of these lawyers, you're still going to be eating charges. Always be smart. Always use discretion. Even in a self-defense situation, you need to not only protect yourself today, but you need to protect yourself tomorrow. And that means in court. And I've seen how these things happen when I worked for the court, when I worked for the law firm. So I would much rather just have a lawyer on retainer for the same money that I'm paying USCCA. Yeah.
Covers gun-free zone. Covers prohibited possessor status, or in other words, you're not allowed to have a gun. All of those things that I just read off, USCCA,
Yeah, I'm allowed to have one.
CCW Safe, US Law Shield, and FLP do not do. The most important things. If I am paying for a firearm insurance,
He's got a good point. They're cutting out the most important things, and I kind of get it. I see why they're doing it. They're an insurance company. Let's make it that much harder for us to actually send a lawyer out and pay out. Unfortunately, this is what insurance companies do. Hey, you're not covered for floods, though. You're only covered for earthquakes here. Well, why is that? There's never been an earthquake here, and we have a flood every few years. Well, that's why we don't cover it. Like, that's exactly the case here. Like, these companies aren't going to want to cover the core essential things that you're actually going to need. Man, take your money somewhere else where they will cover you.
I'm going to be straight with you guys. I don't care about the training. I don't care about gifts. I don't care about the razzle-dazzle.
You know what? I'm right there with you, big heavy country. I could give a shit less about whatever free training they're giving out. Like, that's cool. Maybe if you're looking into getting training and you really want to learn how to use all the stuff that, for self-defense, and you want to learn how to use different rifles and this and that, and you're at a starting point, and that's really important to you, okay, then maybe go pay USCCA their $30, unlock all of that on their web portal, go take all of the classes that you want discounted, right, and then ditch your USCCA membership after you're done taking all these classes at a discount. That might be something that some people would do, but then definitely get your actual coverage or insurance switched over to something like this. So I'm right there with you. I fully agree with everything he's saying here, especially, if these are the facts, and it does show in this video USCCA's policy, and it shows that this is the fact.
And who the big dogs are that are promoting it. I care about what is going to happen when
me,
someone breaks
yeah.
into my house and I shoot them? Are they going to leave me high and dry?
Yep.
Are they going to make me pay everything back? That's what I care about. So that's why I found...
Yeah, this whole pay everything back too, that's scary as shit. That'll make some people not even want to fight for their freedom. Like, shit, man, it's a stacked system against me. And now, like, if I fail this, not only am I sitting in jail for whatever charge they gave me to neuter my USCCA coverage, but now I'm going to have to pay back everything to USCCA. So, I mean, after I get done doing my time for my assault that I shouldn't have even got, I'm going to get out of jail, and now I'm going to be in debt to the USCCA for $250,000 for not really representing me in the first place. Ooh, that is scary. That is scary, folks. And unfortunately, these insurance companies, they'll do it to you.
On these guys after extensive research. They're the best. They simply are the best in this industry. So here's my recommendation to everyone, especially people on this channel. For the people who signed up with USCCA with me, get your money back. And I'm not saying this to...
So this is somebody that was promoting USCCA about a year ago. And then, hey, you know what? I got to give it up to him. Like, he could have just shut his mouth and just kind of dropped USCCA and not really talked much about it. But thank you for doing this. Thank you for pointing this out to everybody and actually kind of looking out for your herd, right? Because that would suck. I would feel terrible if I told somebody to go get USCCA, one of my subscribers, and some terrible shit happened. They actually had to defend themselves. And then I hear that they're getting absolutely railroaded in court. And USCCA just screwed them over even more. And now they have to pay a bunch of money back. That would be terrible. So I'm right up there with heavy duty country on this one. Definitely look into that. Or if you're going to keep your USCCA benefits, if you're just a creature of habit and you're like, I've already been a member for years, I'm just going to hold on to it, then at least know what you're getting yourself into. Then at least know that if there's a terrible situation, if you have to use your firearm, you better make sure that the stars align before you pull the trigger. I mean, the bad guy better be standing over a victim with a knife, a bloody knife, and there better be 4 people as witnesses, you know, before you pull the trigger that, you know, you're saving somebody's life or something like that, before you do anything. And that's something that is scary to think about, and that is something that is very difficult to do in a bad situation. When a bad situation's unfolding, it's really hard to know what the right thing to do is. That's why we have insurance for this shit, because crazy things happen, right? You know, I could get into it all day talking about different crazy things that could happen. We don't even need to do all that. Make sure you are protected.
Screw over USCCA. I'm saying this because I legitimately care. I legitimately care that everyone here has something they can depend on.
Thank you.
In a self-defense situation.
Thank you.
And USCCA and all these other insurance companies, it's simply not. Now here's the best part of all of this. Attorneys on retainer is cheaper than USCCA. Actually.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing too, is I noticed that just by looking at their plans, like their very most basic plan. I was like, whoa, I pay more than that already. In fact, what I pay, I could get coverage for all of USA. And I'm still probably saving $5 a month, right? This is what happens when you pay to the actual source instead of an insurance company. So this is just a great idea. Yeah, I'm going to be talking to those lawyers tomorrow. And I'm going to have one of them on retainer at all times. So I suggest this is something that you look into if this is important to you. It's important to me. I'm going to be calling them tomorrow. I already have the number written on a pad, yo. So
covered in a self-defense situation, and it's cheaper. So for our viewers, they're giving you $50 off when you sign up. There's going to be a link below the video. Click the link, put in your info. There's going to be a little section for the promo code. Put that in.
Yeah, I'm going to be going back to this video, and I'll definitely use his promo code. But first, I'm going to actually call up there, talk to them. And that's going to be after I call USCCA tomorrow. So we might all have to make room to do that. Anyway, if you are in the mindset of this stuff, I hope this video found you today. And if you don't see USCCA being prompted up by the majority of the gun tubers that you watch, well, now you know why, right? Because after a video like this, all the gun tubers are going to be talking about it, and you might see some reruns of this episode, as it ripples through the community. Anyway, have an awesome day. We all got choices to make tomorrow with our insurance companies, with the lawyers that we have on retainer, damn it. Oh, fun stuff. Anyway, like and share this if you can to help it get around for anybody that might actually need something like this. I already threw this up on the Facebook. And have an awesome day, everybody. Leave me a comment. Let me know if this helped. Later.